so much for letting us be a part of your journey. We are rocking today in today's roundtable, and we have three incredible outliers who are all here to share their perspectives and also like how they continue to keep themselves on the edge right now. I'm really happy to introduce you all to Unni, Shawn, Flynn, and Abhi Prakash. Thank you all for making the time for this. Thank you for showing up as bringing this out to life. All right. I'm excited for our conversation. I'd like to make sure outliers get a chance to get to know each of you here. So, what I'd like to know, I'll start off with you, Uni. Like, can you mind telling us more about you and the game you're currently playing?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Unni, and founder and CEO of Vision Audio Films. We are an indie film production house, and we've been in the industry for about 6 years now. Individually, me, I'm a cinematographer. That's how I started my profession. Been in the film industry for about 12, and decided to jump into going in the production side and standalone company and start making indie films. And we've been successful for now. I mean, we've been growing and scaling. And again, to talk about why you talk about being on the edge, because the industry is always changing, and how to get to the next stage is always a question. And me and my team, and without my team I could not do anything, but I love my team, and we are definitely scaling and going forward, and that's a big success to us already.
Yeah, congratulations. Well created with that. Loving to hearing about the journey, and then also taking the step to say like, hey, wait, we're gonna just go all in on us. Appreciate hearing you on that. Shawn, let's come to you. Let us know more about you and the game you're currently playing.
All right. Uh, Nihama, thank Nia. Nia. Oh man, sorry.
No worries, no worries. This is why we play with this here. Like, yeah, it's Niyama. Go ahead, tell us more about
Nihama,
you
thank
and
you
the game you're playing.
Nihama, thank you for having me on this episode of the Outliers. I'm really excited to be here. A little bit about myself. I'm the managing director of Silicon Valley High Point Capital. We're a lower mid-market investment bank focused on mergers, acquisitions, growth capital. So for your audience, I'm not sure if they're familiar with what those types of transactions are, but we do them every day in life. So think of it this way: you're going through life, you start dating someone, that special someone, you get married. Well, that marriage, that's a merger. And now maybe you're walking hand in hand and you pass a pet shop. You go, oh my gosh, there's this little puppy in this window. I want to bring it into my house. I'm gonna buy this puppy. You acquire that puppy, that's an acquisition. And then that puppy, it needs to go to the vet, it needs food, it needs shots to go from this little puppy to this big dog. All that costs money. Well, that's growth capital. So all those types of transactions that we're all familiar with in our daily life, that's what I do all day long for businesses. And when I'm not working with companies that, I mean, it's an exciting career. I love it. I love doing transactions. On the side, I have a podcast called The Silicon Valley Podcast. I've gotten to interview people such as the founder of Canva, Square, Intel Capital, Juniper Networks. I just did an interview for the Apple's 50th anniversary, where I interviewed the gentleman that introduced Steve Jobs to Steve Wozniak. So I've gotten over the years to interview some incredible people. So that's what I do on a day to day, and I'm looking forward to this. But before moving forward, I also want to give a little disclaimer. As being an investment banker, we're highly regulated. So covering myself and also everyone here on this podcast as well. So the views expressed in this podcast are for informational purposes only. They do not constitute financial or legal advice, nor do they necessarily reflect the views of Finalis Inc., Finalis Securities LLC, member FINRA SIPC. So, Yama, thank you for letting me get that out of the way, and thank you for having me here.
Well, I appreciate a couple of different things. Thanks for being here. One, thanks for taking the time to take what you do, which could be highly technical or be put into like a certain bucket where people and people have their own like ways of thinking about it. And I really enjoy the story, the bridge that you created here for us here to be like, hey, look, by the way, I do these things, you do these things that I do on a regular basis. We just do it in a different context. And I think that like there's something about that is that I think speaks to the outlier journey, where a lot of us feel like we're alone or we're different or we're doing something that like most other people aren't. But at the same time, it's like it's like it's extraordinary. It's the same thing that it's extraordinary. It's what everyone's doing, but like with our own little thing on it. So thank
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Shawn. Thanks for demonstrating and coming in this way right off the bat.
Well, that in. You got to add some jargon to it to make you sound expensive, right?
There
So
it is. There it is. All right. Well, Abhi, let's get to know you. Let's make sure outliers get a chance to get to know you. Mind sharing more about you and the game you're playing?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Niyama. So my name is Abhi Prakash, everybody. I'm originally from Northern California. I'm currently based in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm playing a few different games, as Niyama needs to say. Firstly, I'm building a real estate company. Secondly, I'm working on an education company, and then also doing some development in the agentic AI space as well, as I work to finish up my Master's of Business Administration at UCLA Anderson School of Management. Prior to getting to this level, I built a good foundation across technology, finance, and consulting, working at leading firms like Adobe Software, Ernst & Young, and General Motors. Just really excited to be in a room with Unni, Shawn, and Niyama and just continue to learn, build relationships, and get accelerated on what's going to be the next chapter of my development as an investor, as an executive, and as a leader.
I love this shit. Like y'all, thanks for coming to play. I think that the word growth is what I really would love for us to like lean into in this conversation, and be self interested in this conversation here to see the things that will pull out for you. Like I want to get a chance here. Like it's Outliers Edge, so like it's not Outliers like comfort zone. So I want to get a chance to see like to start out here. Something that's putting you on your edge right now. All right, let's use that as one of our frames as we come in here. What's a project that you're taking on that like gives you sweaty palms, that like really excite you, but at the same time you're like, wow, I need to become something more, or like I have to step out of my comfort zone in order to make this come to life. Why don't you give Outliers a chance to see a bit into like the world and what you're creating right now? Anyone want to start us off on that one?
Yeah, I can take that one.
Thank you, Abhi. And you know what I'm going to ask is that for the first few questions, like just say your first name again when you respond. That way, anyone who's just listening will be able to associate.
Yeah, absolutely. So Abhi, just to answer the original question, I think something that makes my palms sweaty is just the amount of competitors in the AI space and in the technology space. It seems like everybody and their grandma and their dog have an AI company that they're building and working on or doing something with. I actually had a friend take an Uber in San Francisco and pay or have the Uber driver pitch him on a startup idea recently. So it's making my palms sweaty because I know there's so many competitors in this space, and the wave of innovation is coming so quickly and at such a rapid pace. Those who are building in the space really need to be cognizant of the ultra competitive nature.
Nice. Anyone else? Let's go with that. Let's keep playing.
Yeah, I can go right now, actually, because I'm not a person who talks much or come on an interview or a podcast. I'm so far behind. I'm always behind the camera. That's my space. Starting off with my production house, we've definitely had some interviews, and I think this is my second podcast, probably I should say. The first one was with a pretty well-known. We were at AFM, which is American Film Market, and when they saw our company, and we had to get on air for that. I do have somebody in my team who's extremely good with camera. They come on board. My hands are actually sweaty right now, to be honest. But again, going back to that conversation, me coming in on air is not my comfort zone at all. But otherwise, I think, nothing's actually scares me apart. Our foundations are strong and everything is good to go. But coming like even Instagram, and like I know that it's for us in this world of being live and active on Instagram, and it's not there yet for us, but we still exist, because we have a team that does that for us, so it's just giving, like, if I don't think any of my friends or people that I work with will be like, oh yeah, Unni, you're on a podcast. That's a good thing to see from people. They'll be like, oh my God, I have to watch this. So it's going to be funny.
I really really appreciate you bring that in, Uni. Because there's one of the things that I have in the back of mind whenever I do have a conversation like this is that a lot of times like people see what we look like on the outside and they assume like how they feel on the inside is supposed to match up, right? So like you come in here, you have like the graphics are in here, everything's good, you're good, and like you're like, just so you know, this is like my second time doing this, you know. And like and what I also appreciate here is that what you've done is you brought a really nice juxtaposition into this space, and I think that like outliers let's pay attention to this. Like what I hear is like there's confidence. You're like, look, the business is strong. I have people who do this. Like this is great. This is out there. But for me, this is like I'm on my edge right now, like playing this game. And I
Yeah.
think that like there's some element of being able to play in both of them that helps us as outliers continue to grow and stand. So thank you very much for just like being real about it, because I think that like I don't know, as entrepreneurs, as people building things, we're often don't like imagine it to be good at everything, you know, or like and I appreciate like the realness in that. Thanks so much, Uni.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think Uni, I think he's the type of guy that's like, I've never gone bowling before, and then gets a perfect 300
Yeah.
with you. And,
You
you
know,
know, like really? Are we doing this?
No, I mean, I should be very honest about it. I'm extremely organic when it comes to my conversations. I don't, so that's probably one of the main reasons I don't come in front of camera, because there are a lot of like, oh yeah, man, you're not supposed to say that out loud. So I'm like, yeah, it's not. So my wife says, you need media training, seriously, dude. And I said, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there on that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Like this is cool. And I am looking forward to seeing where things go with this. Shawn, you're gonna say something on this one.
Oh, I mean, for myself, the outlier, the edge thing. I mean, every time we take on a project, any type of transaction, it's such high stakes, right? If you're raising capital for a company, if you don't raise it for them, they might go under, right? If you don't sell that company for that valuation range that the founder has spent the last 10 years, 15 years of their life building, I mean, imagine how that impacts their family. So anytime we take on a project, it's okay, we're sweating a little bit because we want to do what's best for the client. We want to succeed. We want, to match expectations. And so when we're having those conversations of, wait, what are you building? What are you trying to do? What's the end goal? How would this set you up for next round or the round after that or the exit after that? Wait, and we're thinking at the same time, this doesn't impact just that one person. This could impact 200 employees, 200 families. And if we don't sell this business and they have 6 months of runway, a year's like what happens to those 200 families? So, you're always kind of sweating it. And maybe that's why a lot of investment bankers have bad reputations for not having emotions or being a little callous in that, because, when you're in these engagements, you are a part of those people because you hear the stories, right? When you're doing due diligence on that company in advance and building out the data room and the market materials, you're hearing about those late nights, this person that had to go through a divorce but kept the business, or they lost their home, or they put everything, all the sacrifices, and Uni's shaking his head as a business owner. I mean, I'm sure he knows pain that no one else around him has any idea that he had to go through. And the nights just sweating, going to the wife, we can't go on this vacation, but we got to make sure the business survives. And I mean, those are what we do all day long. So we're always on edge with anything we're doing. And I think you have to be, because you need to be connected to that owner of the business to have, you have to have sweat equity in it as well, because of how important these transactions are for people. So, and then the podcast, talking to some high-end people, that's sweaty too, because you're just sitting there going, gosh, these are the outliers of the outliers. Is this question, are they going to look at it and shake their head and be like, am I wasting my time here with this person? Like, seriously? Like, come on. Or they're going to say, oh, that was a good question. You're like, oh, no.
Yes. I get that one. I get that. Yeah, I'm appreciative, Shawn, of what you just said here in many different ways. But one of the things that's come to me is the level of stakes that are involved in the things that we do, right? And I don't think that that's like really spoken to All right. It's like it's not just like, oh, you're selling companies and you're buying companies and you're merging. Like it's not that, right? You're even going back to like the example you brought up with like the marriage, like that's an incredibly important decision here. And so like I would be really curious here, like around stakes. I think that stakes make everything. All right. And the question I would ask here for you all is like, I think I'm gonna find like the right balance of this here. All right, let me tell you what's evolving for me as this is coming in. I have found that I'm someone who's found that like I rise to the occasion, And Shawn, as you were talking here, you're like there are big stakes at hand, and you're meeting it. Uh, how do you leverage like those elements of like setting like high goals, epic goals, so on and so forth? Maybe knowing that like the person you were when you said yes to doing this may not be the person who actually can accomplish it, or like like it's the first time, and so on and so forth. How do y'all continue to grow? What do y'all do to stay in the game? Abhi, I
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah, I love this question because I have so many stories that exemplify it. It's all about growth, right? Like, not to be overly generic and use buzzwords, but the business person in me plans my life quarter by quarter. And if you can hit most of your objectives every quarter, that'll help you realize a lot of growth. I mean, for example, right? Like I mentioned earlier, I coached high school basketball. Wasn't a great player, wasn't even really a good coach for a while, but just started coaching just to stay away from the bars and some old friends, and just wanted to continue to impact my community, and just started as a sixth grade coach. Within 3-4 years, I'm now coaching the junior varsity team of like the largest public high school in a nationally ranked program. And that just goes for like taking things day by day, starring in your role, planning your life in quarters. And I think that if you can build some structure into your approach like that, and that'll just build your confidence to continue to take on more impactful roles, more high-end jobs, and put yourself in a place where you can grow at a faster rate than you thought was possible.
Just to add on
Sure.
what Abhi said, I mean, if you really think about it, you're able to reach that peak of the problems you're comfortable solving, right? And that's where a lot of business owners and that gets stalled out. They reach that level of, okay, I'm comfortable with these problems I'm facing right now. That's where my business will end up. Whereas others, they're like, okay, these problems today are no longer problems. Okay, these now problems are where I'm having challenges, and I'll make that, and maybe that's where they stall out, or maybe they keep going. And that's why you see so many companies, they'll get to that 10 million revenue mark or that 20, and that's where they stall out, because that's what the capabilities, the scope of that leadership team is. That's where they've said, okay, this is where I'm going to go. So going just there, it's okay, where do you want to go, and then work backwards, and knowing yourself, because some people are able to take pretty big steps going to that. Others have to take little steps. Others really want to surround themselves with an advisory team, coaches that will get them there. Others, it's more, okay, a spiritual, organic journey, whatever it is. But it's okay, do you know yourself enough to know how you like to push yourself to get to where you want to go? And does that goal have enough win for you that it's worth the effort for the sacrifices you have to make, right? There's always those trade-offs. You're going to spend this many hours here, means you can't spend this many hours someplace else. You're spending time on this, you're not spending time there. So it's knowing yourself, how you can progress, seeing where you want to go, working backwards, and ultimately saying, okay, where do I want to be at the end of this journey, or at least for the immediate time of this journey. And I loved how you were kind of phrasing it at the beginning there of the problems people want to face, and that there's so many parts of life. Everything's a problem. You have a first kid, there's problems there. Okay, what do I do 3 a.m. with diapers? You go on vacation. Oh, new land, problems there. I think there's so many things that you could say. Is this a problem that's manageable? Is this a problem that's outside my comfort zone? Is this a problem that's 10 steps beyond anything I can imagine? And how can I get there with knowledge, research, whatever it is?
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I actually like what Shawn said, because definitely problems. Everybody has problems, sure. Growth, that's a pretty strong word that I hold on to. And at least for me, I can tell you, fall, when you have a fall is when you grow, period. That's exactly has happened to, at least from my growth. I've seen falls quite a bit, and we've always grown from there. The only thing that holds on to it, is persistence, grit, and wealth. The whole understanding, or the whole idea of handling, or what is wealth mean. Wealth is not just finance. Wealth is not just finance. It is about getting a good team together, getting what focus you want to put into it, what time and when and where and how. All that falls together in a specific section. It all, it's, again, and I also believe in just positioning yourself. And I believe I'm an organic person. Again, when I talk, I think I go into all different directions. But if you grab all the things and put in a bucket, might make sense. But grit and I would say persistence is purely the reason, at least, where I'm able to, because I came from India on an F1 visa, back in the day, and I'm a citizen now. Honestly, it's through my oven, got my, so that the whole path is different, because I was supposed to go back to India and start a business or be an artist back in India, but no, we decided, I decided to stay here, and then I, found my partner in Canada, and then we all moved here, and then we're having life here. So there is a a strong point, because focus was one big part of it. I mean, I can continue forever on this part, but again, I don't talk much on camera per se, for sure.
No, we're good. We're good. Like this is really coming out like for me on it, and it's like you're helping me see as we're going through. There's two things that are flowing through my mind here. One of them is I had a coach who said to me, um, well, I'll put it this way: one of my goals whenever I'm working with people is like, we're not going to get rid of your problems. Like we're not going to get rid of problems.
Yeah.
We just want you to be able to have better problems. You know, and I think that element of like of better problems outliers. I would ask you to like check in with yourself. Like what level of problems are you having right now? How long have you had that level? There may be different problems, but are you looking? I think like you mentioned that your first child, like Shawn, I did not recognize how like there was a whole new level of problems that came in once you become a parent. And then we had child number two, and like she's amazing, she's her own thing. But I was like, this I can handle. Like I know what happens when XYZ happens. I know this level of problem here. Shawn, I saw you unmute. Like, is there anything you want to bring in on this?
Oh, I was just thinking, I mean, I'm at the phase right now where I can change the diaper while sleeping. It's like,
Yeah, right. You're like all star levels here, right? Like,
yeah.
And also you welcome new problems, right? I mean, that's the whole idea. It's like you don't want to stop. I mean, at least for me, it's like, I want to grow. I want to get to a certain stage, and I want to welcome a new problem. I'm ready for it. Is when internally that I'm ready.
This is great because I wanted to sit here and be like, yes, definitely. But I recognize when you said I welcome new problems, I had like a thing inside of my chest show up, right? Where I'm just like, oh, I just barely got past this last one. Now I'm coming in on the next one, right? And so like I want to presence that in this conversation. We'll see if we go with anything. But Abhi, I'm glad you brought in the word growth. Like once you said the word growth, I realized that there's a tension I feel, and I love to see how y'all navigate this here as you're creating epic things out in the world. It's like the tension between growth and results. Right. So you're talking like we have to get them like we want to get them these results here. But like we're having this conversation about growth here. And I recognize there was a time in my life, probably before the first kid, where I was like, it's all about the journey. And then I was like, we got to get there. We got to get to the destination. So I'm really curious about how y'all are navigating the quest for growth and the ongoing journey of growth with actually bringing in results from there. And we'll play it off from there, especially if you find yourself like in a time where you're holding back more.
That's a great question. I'm happy to go first. I mean, right now, one of the big growth things for us is just onboarding new team members, onboarding new principals, and that. And you have to customize the onboarding per the person. I mean, some people, the way you communicate with them, the way you set their milestones, the way you set check-ins, the way it's either granular, more high level, the way it's more, sometimes you're a little micromanager, you're more step back. Like everyone to get the best results, it's how do I customize this onboard, this experience to this one person, because they're the foundation of this bigger building. And so that's the growth and problems that we're having right now. We're just, okay, how do we really tailor this for each person as they come on to make sure that they understand the vision, values, culture, everything, and yet at the same time we can complement them to have them reach heights that they may not have been comfortable with before, whether it's a bigger deal, whether it's different sectors where there's this different scope. So it's like, how do you take this one person and that's already an all-star and make them a Hall of Famer, right? Like, how do we reach them up a little bit more? So that's what we're working on right now.
Got it. I mean, in my world, or how I kind of approach this is, we have a lot of problems. We want to grow quite a bit. I kind of break it down into smaller packages, and then small growth, small success, is great. We love it. We thrive on these little things that, small teams that we build, and they show success to that. And then we see that, okay, that's transformed into a bigger format, and again, because everything under, the whole company falls under, one team. So there are small teams that goes out and starts figuring out that growth aspect, small growth, small success, small happiness. I believe a lot in finding happiness in small things, in small places. It's great, it's fun, it's it's to keep your daily life moving. It is so much fun to just be happy. Oh yeah, the sun was setting and there was pink light out there. It was fantastic. I love it. Great. That's good enough. That's good enough for today. And then you move on. You move on to the next one. So that kind of helps. At least for me, it kind of works out. At least for my team too. I think one of the good thing is we all think the same, or it's very kind of, we're fortunate to the fact that we all have the same kind of a thinking process, which is was very lucky to have that process going forward. So that's how we attack this format of success or growth, or getting to a certain point, finding results. Small results definitely leads up to the big results, and it's happening. It definitely worked out.
Yeah, I love the way you communicated that, Unni. It's like just taking that day-to-day step forward is such a cliche saying, right, across everything, but
know.
it's also so real. I think that just applying what you said around like my own life and some of the things that I've done thus far is just like with real estate, right? Like I had to climb and claw and bite and yell, and really was so hard to get my first property. And then within 2 years, I was able to buy another one, right? And then like
Yep.
it's that margin and that time to action is reduced. And now I really want to like play more in real estate and buy my third, fourth, fifth property here. And I just think like, even though that saying is said a lot, right? Oh, just day by day, keep cracking, keep taking a step forward, chop wood, carry water. I just wanted to kind of emphasize like how real and how meaningful that is, because it makes a difference, right? Whether you're a teacher, whether
100%.
you're a real estate agent, whether you're an actor, whatever you do, there's a lot of gold in what Unni just said.
Yeah, and nowadays, to feel unhappy, there's so many things. It's like there are a lot more things to find unhappiness. It's just weird. It's like I mean, I come across a lot of people, and I'm like, no, man, like just let it be. Just move on. Find the thing that actually makes you fun. That think a little bit more fun aspect of it.
I got a quick question, Abhi. I'm really curious, when you're training the athletes on the basketball team, how do you go about, because there's now so many resources for athletes, not only traditional, okay, these are the drills, but now phone plans with these programs and online code and all this AI and that. How do you manage their step progress over the season?
Yeah, it's tough, right? And I think that we all want to like, I mean, I'm going to answer this question very high level, and then I'll get into more of a tactical answer. I think that this goes to being in a capitalistic society, right? Like it touches everything. Like there's always something coming out trying to gain market share, gain influence, gain profit, right? And it applies to even something as wholesome and organic as like teaching high school students how to play a sport.
My guess is those students right now are also thinking, I can get all this money by playing in college that wasn't there either before.
I
Like
mean,
10 years ago, you wouldn't hear these college students getting $1 million contracts. It's crazy.
It's not even high school kids are getting paid NIL. So it's like it's not your grandfather's situation and scenario anymore, right? So it's different, and it kind of forces you to level up, or like there'll be another coach that can do it better than you, right? And they'll come and take your spot. So it really forces you, even though it is a competitive arena, it forces you to think kind of like a business person, right? And I might get some flack from saying that, but like a lot of these coaches have now business minds, right? They're like, okay, like how much can I get out of this like $10 million of NIL that I get as a leader of the Michigan basketball team, right? And like it does bring that element into it, but in terms of like how we deal with it on a high school level in the day to day, we just push ourselves to get better. Right? I've been fortunate to been around some more senior coaches that have been there before and worked with higher level players and bring world class frameworks and structure and drills and plays and sets and sayings and things like that into the day to day. And I was able to learn from them and able to grow and able to focus. And it was really just a like kind of leadership turbocharge for me, and I was able to grow a lot in this space.
Interesting.
I like this here. Like this, y'all are going to be thinking here around some of the various ways of playing and looking at like growth from a different angle and different perspective. Probably have time for like one more question here. This is one of the things that I want to like highlight for each of you here. Like each of you are outliers in your own right, and I'm curious about like what's the outlier like. How do you bring your outliers self out? Like, what's something that you do? Maybe it's an unconventional thing. Most people wouldn't even think they would work in order to get you higher growth, higher success for your clients and beyond. What's something that you do that many other people wouldn't, or if they tried, it just wouldn't work for them? Like for me, I'm like, I invite like people who don't know each other onto a platform to come and talk in, right? And everything starts from there. I'd be curious for each of you, just share your way about how you get people outlier results. Shawn, you want to start us off on that? We'll go with every single person and then we'll wrap.
I mean, that's kind of a challenge. I guess there's two things that I kind of do that I don't think they're unconventional. I think they're pretty common, to be honest. One, I start the day off with a walk. That's it. Just a long walk where I go over, okay, what are my action items for today? What are the projects I'm working on? What are some of the conversations I've had recently around those projects? And just kind of think, was I missing anything? Or what could be done better today or tomorrow on this engagement, and just having that time without a cell phone, or at least it's in my pocket, but not on it, just that disconnect from electronics for a little bit, come up with a lot of ideas. It's pretty crazy how in a short 30-minute 45-minute walk you can really accomplish the entire day of these are all the things I got to do. This is all within reach. It's all manageable. It's not overwhelming. It's not because sometimes you open that inbox as sweat happens, and other times you're like, actually, these are the little pebbles. Here are the few rocks for today. This will get what I need for each of those engagements to cross the finish line. And then outside of that, the other thing I do is once a month, I'll organize a coffee meeting of just different advisors, different people that are kind of working the same space. But I kind of select them to work on a project I'm working on without them knowing. I know they're able to help with that, but you just get a bunch of people together, go, hey guys, over coffee, hey, let's just talk about this one thing, blah, blah. And you're sitting there taking mental notes going, you guys have just all gave me some great free advice for coffee. I love it. And so every month I've done that now for about 2.5 years, and it's incredible. And I highly recommend it for everyone out there. Get little mastermind groups all the time. That maybe they don't know their mastermind groups, but they're your advisors, your coaches, your platform to build you up. But just have those little get-togethers and have some fun while you're doing it.
I love it, Shawn. Thank you. Like, there's something. It's so funny you bring this up because I'm looking to try and bring together people in a different, like a more collaborative, more creative environment, like creating environment. And so when you bring this up, I was like, Shawn's figured out something. I like this. Rudy,
yeah. I mean, in our field, I think I can tell you is it's the imperfection is the new perfection. Trust me. Like it's like like with AI, like people are like very clear about what they're talking. It's like a machine. It's like it's coming. It's kind of standardized. It's kind of, it comes in a capsule format. It comes like what to expect. Then you have somebody who's just very organic. You're like, oh yeah, I want to sit down and talk, and I just want to have a conversation. It's not all about work all the time. It's all about life. It's all about, in general. It's about the small things that matter. It's not about always the numbers that make a decision. It's so many other just trying to diversify a lot of the conversations out there with the and this is what I personally feel, and I've seen in bigger or like way successful people, that at least in my circle of people that I work with, they really want to have a small conversation on something that they really like. Not a lot of people care about. I just coffee, great coffee. I want to sit down, look at the plant. Where is it? Okay, this plant is just grows here. Have that little organic way of just exploring and going. It's not coming with an agenda. Like a lot of times I meet a lot of people. I have an agenda. This is what I need to get. If I don't get this, I'm not going to talk to you. Oh my God, we meet hundreds of people like that all the time, and we meet one who's like, I'm going to take it easy on every. I think that's nobody wants to do that. Like, and I think that's when I feel like people are getting scared doing like, can I just be myself and talk about the randomness of nothing? It doesn't have to go anywhere. We just have to just spend the time.
I love it. Y'all are getting me thinking as we're wrapping this up here. Abhi, anything on this one for you?
Yes, quite a lot to say, but I think to be just the most effective and the most simple with my answer is when you talk about like how to realize growth, it boils down, and what's foundational to that is just having a growth mindset, right? Like I know I don't want to be oversimplified. I don't want to be pedantic, but it's like, if you are really pursuing growth, like you have to have a mindset for it. You have to say, hey, like I'm a high school kid. I want to play baseball. I'm going to get my ass to the baseball diamond. I'm going to swing the bat. I'll probably strike out all three times I get an at bat for the first 3 games, but maybe the 4th game I'll get a ground ball, right? It's like that very simple idea that's been kind of continually taught is foundational to realizing growth, right? So I think that's the main thing that I want to encourage all of you guys, all of our audience, to just continue to keep that on top of mind as you seek challenges, you seek opportunities. Because if you don't have that kind of foundational to your being, you're going to not realize your potential, right? You're going to be scared into over specialization. And I think I'd like to end my statement with that, right? Is one wise man once told me, right? Like specialization is for insects. I mean, my parents used to tell me, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like as I became an adult, as I kind of grew into my own, I realized like, it's just not the case, right? Especially in today's environment, you can be an investment banker and an actor, or a Navy SEAL and an author, or a film director and a football coach, or a tech startup CEO and a basketball coach, right? Like there's so many things you can do, and don't kind of buy into that myth that you have to over specialize. And if you're not the end all be all in one breath and one discipline, that you're not doing something right. I mean, I think that I encourage all of you and all of the audience to continue to pursue their passions, pursue what excites them, and build a more holistic view of how they can impact the world.
I love it. Well, I appreciate each of you here. We're going to end our conversation. The way that we end our conversations is with 2 questions. Now, this is really important. The first one is going to be, how do outliers go deeper down the journey with you? So let's make sure the outliers, anyone that wants to continue down with you, like go more into your world, work with you in some way, how can they go about doing that? That's the first question. And the second question here, this is like, please listen to the distinction. The second question here is like, up until this point, we're going to put outliers over to the side. They've gotten a lot from us in terms of what we wanted to share with them. Now this is a bit of us being able to share, like, what did you leave in this conversation with? This is not for outliers. This is like, how did you grow in this conversation? What's changed for you here? And if nothing changed, that's totally fine. But we want to make sure we share that. Okay. All right, cool. So we're coming up on the top of the hour. We'll try and do this here about like a minute each, and then we'll be done. Maybe less than that, 30 seconds each, but we'll go through. Unni, would you mind getting us started on this one?
Sure. Grow in this conversation right now. I mean, great people I met, which is fantastic. I would definitely, keep in touch. Again, I one step forward of meeting new people on live camera. Again, I out of my comfort zone for sure. So definitely that was a growth to me, for sure on my end.
Nice. And if someone wants to go deeper down the journey, how do they get in contact with you and your business?
Oh, Visual Under Films, just you can go to info at Visual Under Films or Unni at visualunderfilms.com. And just, hit me up. My Instagram, I don't remember, honestly.
That's all right. Yeah, you've given us a place to go. That's Visual Narrative Films, right?
Yeah, it's info or Unni at Visual Under Films. And if you go to visualunderfilms.com, you get the information to there.
Perfect. Shawn, let's come to you, and then we'll go to Abhi to wrap.
Perfect. So for myself, if you want to find out more about what I do on a day-to-day basis at Silicon Valley High Point Capital, the website is svhcapital.com. Once again, that's svhcapital.com. If you want to just connect with me, the best is on LinkedIn. So if you look over my shoulder, the QR code that actually goes to my LinkedIn, scan that if you're watching the video. If not, connect with me. It's Shawn, SHAWN, FLYNN. So yeah, right there's the QR code. And then if you want to check out the podcast, it's just the Silicon Valley Podcast. You can check it out Spotify, YouTube, any place. For me, I got a lot. I don't know. I just always like meeting people and having conversations, especially conversations that make me think a little bit about, how can I improve? And, just meeting everyone here. I mean, Abhi's story of being a real estate guy, AI founder, and a basketball coach. I don't think I've ever met anyone with that many different, pokes in the fire ever. So that's incredible. And Unni, if you ever want to grab coffee, I mean, what 25 minutes from me. So hopefully we can connect outside of this. And you put together a great group, and just this dynamic structure of complete strangers meeting together seemed like a Netflix.
Oh, we lost you there.
Oh,
but yeah. Thank you, Shawn. Thank you. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All
right, Abhi, bring us home, and then we'll be done for today.
All right. Yeah, I hope I can bat these runs in. I just had a great time this morning getting to meet all three of you, and I hope I can keep you around me via social media, via just hanging out anytime. Like, you guys can always hit me up, and I look forward to building strong relationships with all of you. And in terms of the second part of the question around like what I got out of this is just being able to connect with people in adjacent places, right? As I kind of alluded to, like, there's not a lot of differences, right, between an investment banker and a salesperson and a person that's trying to build a film company and a basketball coach. There's a lot of overlap. And I think that there's a lot of value unlocked when different people can get in a room and chat. If anybody watching this video or watching this show wants to get in contact with me, you can find me on LinkedIn, first name, space, last name, ABHI, PRAKASH, to learn more about what I'm building, my businesses, my background. And then you can also reach out to me on my social media, which is primarily Instagram. You can reach out to me at abhi.prakash20. And I'm happy to have a conversation. Don't hesitate to reach out, and I just look forward to staying in contact.
Well, I appreciate each of you here. Thank you so much for playing your Outlier game so strongly. Thanks for creating what you do out in the world, and for reminding me about the journey of growth here. Outliers, let's grow on